Food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my darling sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
This whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Let me know if you can. Hi, James Eller. Good morning. Good morning. Like I said, let me know if you can hear me, because I don't know. I'm on my phone. It's Wednesday, and it's Susie Q96. M3 is curled up in front of his heating box, watching me. I just came on to remind everyone there will not be a Sweep in the Dirt show today, because in about 3 hours I will be boarding a medical transport that's going to haul me down to Durham, North Carolina, to Duke University, so we can get an update on the treatment plan for my IgG4-RD. Actually, it's IgG4-ROD, because the O in there has something to do with the orbit anyway. The orbit is your eye socket. For those who do not know, I was recently diagnosed with this disease after struggling with it for a couple of years and having it misdiagnosed as 2-3 other things, none of which were good, but this was worse, because by the time they figured it out, the mess had grown around my optic nerve. So anyway, there's a whole lot of things involved in the treatment of it because of all the other health issues I have. And the guy at Duke is the closest thing we have to anybody that knows anything about that disease. I've been trying to get back to Michigan for 2 years. And ironically, one of the places that they are actually researching this disease is at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So I finally got most people on board with the fact that I need to be in Michigan. What I don't have on board is my housing to actually live there. Been on the waiting list for 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. And so anyway, since my appointment's not till 4 o'clock and it's over 3 hours to get to Durham and back, I'm not going to be home to do a show. And I don't think I can do it from the medical transport. So anyway, I'm just reminding people next week on the metal detecting show. It's probably going to be a short show because I will be getting ready for my big craft fair that I got to do. But we will be doing a show, and we'll be doing a metal detecting giveaway that should have happened in October. But things being what they are, I don't always manage to get on lately. So that's the first part. The second part is not good either. I still haven't found my mechanic that was working on my car. Hi, Paula. How are you, sweetheart? But a different mechanic came by yesterday and spent some time looking over the situation with my car. And basically, I think Mabel may be at the end of her line because Mabel is old. She's got 247,000 miles and apparently has a blown head gasket as a result of all of these problems with the radiator. And the original mechanic did not pick up on that. Had he picked up on that, I probably wouldn't have spent all the money on a new fan and a new radiator and all of that other stuff. But anyway, it's very expensive to replace a head gasket on a Malibu. We're talking $2,000 on $1,000 car. So that doesn't seem like a practical move, and I don't have $2,000 to invest in that anyway. What I am going to do, however, since otherwise the car will just automatically not get fixed and end up in a junkyard, which I really don't want to happen. Back in my racing days, we had fairly good success sometimes with putting head gasket stop leak in. And since I really don't have anything to lose, Friday we're going to try that and see if we can patch her together for a couple of months anyway. At least enough to get me to my craft show this on the 19th. But I used to be the crew chief on a race car, and if there is a head gasket issue, it is not doing some of the things that I would have expected. Like, number one, I'm not seeing any water coming out of the exhaust. I'm not seeing the car is not smoking. The car is not running. There's no rough idle. There's just some things that are telling me that it's not a really bad head gasket issue. In fact, the car, until I pulled into the parking lot here at the apartments and saw some of the fluid running out on the ground. Yeah, there's no white smoke, Kevin. That's one of the first things. There's no white smoke. The car was not even really overheating until right when I pulled into the lot here. And even then, it wasn't pegged at hot. So we're going to try the stop leak and see if that will hold her for a little while. I mean, I've known for a while I was going to have to get a different vehicle, but I need this one to last another 3-4 months. So we'll be doing that on Friday, and if that doesn't work, I'm afraid Mabel has come to the end of her line. I mean, I got my money's worth out of the car. Ooh, there's Kid Ham. Hi, David. So, but I have gotten my money's worth out of that car. I bought that car in Clio, Michigan back in 2016, I think, 2015. And I'm going to say early 2016. I paid $1,300 for it, cash. It had 400. God. 211,000 miles on it when I bought it. It has 247,000 on it now. It made 2 or 3 trips from Michigan to Iowa. Then I towed it down to Georgia, and I drove it all over Georgia, and from Georgia to Florida, to Tampa, Florida, a bunch of times, and to Orlando, and then I dragged it up here to Virginia and drove it all over in the mountains, and so I got my $1,300 worth out of it for sure. But uh yeah, that's the thing, I don't really have the money to buy another car because I don't want to spend the money that's earmarked for the move. I really can't spend most of it. And then what if I took money out of that fund and then I get the phone call, "Oh, we have housing for you. You need to be here in 30 days." Then I wouldn't have the money for the housing, and I would screw up my medical treatment, and that's not going to happen. So, how am I doing on? Um, I don't. I'm not quite on track, Kevin, but I'm getting closer. With the money that I already had put away, we had about $2,500 already when the GoFundMe and the Facebook uh, fundraising started. We've raised another 300, I think, 250 to 300 through the GoFundMe, and 340 through the Facebook. Although the Facebook only says 40, one person sent money that did not go through the fundraiser. They just sent it to my PayPal. So I think right now of the 10,000, I have 3, maybe 3,500, something around there. I haven't looked at it for the last few days. This craft fair that I am doing on the 19th is usually one of my biggest, well, it is my biggest show of the year to sell my jewelry and home decor stuff. Um, my problem right now is how am I going to get to it? Uh, I'm really not on track. I need to be making more money. But once this craft show is over, um, what I'm probably going to have to do, and it's going to cost me a little over $100 to do this, which I didn't want to spend, but I'm going to have to. We only have one car rental place here where I live, and they charge almost $80 a day for a subcompact. And because they're not open on the weekends, I would have to rent the car on Friday and take it back on Monday, which, make a 4-day rental, which is 200 and something dollars. I can't do that. So, what I am opting to do is renting a 10-foot box truck from U-Haul, which is going to cost me around $100 for the same time period. And the plan is the show I have to set up on Friday, I have to tear down on Saturday night, and then on Sunday I'm going to use that truck to go to my storage, and I'm going to get a bunch of stuff out of there that is going to get hauled off to a donation box. And then I will be able to access the rest of the items that are in there so I can start putting them up for sale. I can sort out the things that I'm going to be taking with me, and then the rest of this stuff I will be able to get to so that I can photograph and put it on Marketplace. And like there are 2 tires and rims for my car that are spares that I got a while back when I needed one rim and had to search all over the place to find a rim. And I know that those rims on any market that I have seen are a minimum of $85. So I could, I have things like that in there that can be sold, and some furniture that I'm not taking and so forth. And so once, I have to spend that money so I can get to my show anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and use the truck for that purpose. And one of my friends said she will come down there and help me get the stuff into the truck that I'm going to take over to the donation. And I will run that over Monday morning and then take that truck back. So I will get 2 chores out of that. And then I will be able to make some money off of the stuff that's in the storage. And that money will also go into the moving fund. But it's a serious thing that you need to move for medical care when your primary care doctor makes a donation to your moving fund, because she understands what I have is beyond the scope of what they can treat in this area. So, I mean, I got pretty emotional when I saw that. So, anyway, once I get past this show, this is the last craft show I will be doing this year, as far as I know. If I can get the car running, where I can drive it, just putt around town, there might be one other show I could do. But after that, I will be doing a show on my other channel, which is Oh Susie Q Jewelry and Decor. And that will also be to raise money for the move. I yeah, I'm a little bit upset in that I have, over the past 2 or 3 years, made donations to a lot of fundraisers for different people. Granted, they're not $100, $200 donations, but I've always tried to be supportive when other people have problems. And I will say the community came through for me a while back when the wheel came off my car because the inspection station did not put the lug nuts back on properly. And that cost me $900 to fix my car because it tore up part of the front end and it was a mess. And I did have some good support then, but I also had some people that were saying I was faking being sick, and so all fundraising for me stopped. Then when this started, I had one channel, well, actually 2 channels. I don't want to. I had 2 channels that stepped up and they raised some money. One was the Coin Crew. Go Squirrels. Uh, I love the squirrels. The Coin Crew had a fundraiser for me when this first started, and that money is part of that 2,000 that is sitting waiting for the move. And then Spray Can Coins raised $50 to help me pay my power bill because I had to use my power bill money to buy medicine that my insurance wouldn't cover. Other than that, there really hasn't been within the YouTube community, a lot of people jumping up to help me. The most of what's going on now for fundraising actually is from people from my hometown and some of the music community. I do want to thank Clam Bake Detecting. They made a donation to the GoFundMe, but there just hadn't been much activity. And truthfully, I haven't been pushing it because every time I post it, I seem to get nasty grams from bullies who still don't think I'm sick. And I don't want to deal with them. So, yeah, that's about right. Kevin, for the U-Haul to Michigan, I do have someone that's going to drive the truck so that I don't have to do that. And then she's going to fly back. It's a relative. But then you've got the gas on top of that. And you have the deposit for an apartment, you have the electric deposit, the assorted deposits that they hit you for, and of course your first month's rent. And so, but yeah, it's about $700 just for the truck. I'm trying to get it down to the smallest truck I can go with, which is why furniture and stuff is being sold. Because that's one thing about Michigan. I can find a bazillion thrift stores. I can find furniture. I have a lot of people in Michigan. Most of the furniture I'm taking is like my bedroom. I'm gonna take my bed, obviously. I don't have a couch. I have a hide a bed that I use for a couch, so I'll fold that up and take it. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. I've done all of that uh research, and I don't know if I'll be towing the car now. That's a whole nother issue. I don't know if I will even have a car to be towing. But anyway, after I get this craft show done and I've got 2 more doctor's appointments this month. I have the one today where I go to Duke. They'll be picking me up around 12:30, and I won't be back until 9 o'clock tonight or so. So like I said, I'm not gonna be able to do a show tonight. But I have some items once I get past these doctor's appointments. I was kind of thinking about going to see my brother one more time down in Florida, but that's off the table. I think at this point, I'm just not going to be able to do that in December. So that is, like I said, that's off the table. So once I get past these, then I can start selling, concentrating on selling stuff. I do have an eBay store. It's become pretty obvious I'm not going to be doing a lot of playing music live anymore. I haven't played live for a couple years now. So I'm going to be selling most of my musical equipment. I'm going to keep one electric guitar, one acoustic guitar, and my little practice amp. I've already sold off a couple of the guitars. When I first started getting sick, I did that. So I have some things to sell that will raise money for the move. I just have to get past where I'm at right now. And I really did not need this car to pull the scrap on me, but it did. So, well, whatever it says for fuel, I always add another $100 because you don't know what is going to happen. I've done a couple of these moves before. Um, in one case, a week before the move was scheduled, gas prices went up like in a couple of different states where they had voted in some new taxes, and gas prices went up in those two states by like 25, 30 cents a gallon. So I was glad I had put that extra money aside, and I tried really hard not to buy gas in those states. Where I would get like I'm gonna cross over into wherever. So let me stop before I get to that line and fill this thing up. And uh I also, because of my health, I cannot drive that straight through. So there is going to be at least one night in there where I'm going to have to probably stop and stay in a motel. And I usually stay in the cheap ones. One of my friends in Florida is affiliated with a large hotel chain, and she can usually get me a discount. And she told me the other day that she could probably get me enough points to pay for a room. So I may or may not have to pay for a room to stop. The doctor I'm going to today down at Duke, uh, this is kind of the how long can I put off the beginning of treatment appointment. Fortunately, when I got the last set of imagings done, um, I had a PET scan and some MRIs. The PET scan indicated that the disease has not spread to any other organs. It is strictly in the orbit of the eye, which is your eye socket, and in my brain behind it. But the imaging actually showed that the medication that I'm on right now is keeping the inflammation in check, and it's actually gotten the swelling to go down some. So that's buying me a little time. And the PET scan has indicated that it has not spread to any of the other organs that IgG4 is known to get into. So for right now, we've got it contained, and that hopefully is going to buy me a little time. This guy is really pushing for me, you need to start right now, blah, blah, blah. But he's not weighing in all the other diseases that I have that we've got to figure out an alternate way to treat. There's a lot involved with it. Yeah, the move itself is not the biggest money part. I've had the actual money for the move covered for a long time. What the problem is I have been on the waiting list to get into low income senior and disabled housing, and the list is not moving very fast. Um, I had actually gotten to the top of that list and was within 3 days of leaving for Michigan. And then I had the pulmonary embolism and almost died, and I had to learn how to walk all over again. And I thought that what they would do would just be to take the next person in line, and then, when another unit rolled around, they would give me that. No, they put me all the way back to the end of the waiting list. So I lost the unit. And I have been trying for a year and a half now to work my way back up the list, and they're still telling me probably 18 months. Well, my treatment can't wait 18 months. So what I'm going to have to do is get up there and get a regular rent apartment, even if it's just like a little efficiency, and put my stuff in storage, and wait it out from up there so that I can go ahead and get my treatments started in Ann Arbor. Now, in order to make sure that I don't have a problem doing that, the goal is to try to pay at least 6 months rent on a regular unit. And then I can get into more of the low rent programs that are available in Michigan, but you have to be a resident of Michigan to sign up for them. And that's been an issue because I'm not a resident of Michigan. So I think we've, I've talked to people there at the different housing things, and that's basically how they're recommending it, because I cannot wait 18 months to start the treatment. 5 or 6 months, yeah. 18 months, no, that's not going to work. And as many of you know, there's only 3 places in the United States that are really seriously working on research and treatment of IgG4. One of them is Massachusetts General in Boston, the Mayo Clinic, and the third is University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, which is where Virginia had to send my biopsy samples. They didn't even have a place here that could even do that. Everything had to go to Michigan. So yeah, it's mostly the housing cost when I get there. Fortunately, Michigan offers very good medical transportation statewide for very little money, unlike here. So I will be able to get to the appointments and the things that I need to get to. Plus, I do have a pretty good network of people. I lived in Michigan from 2014 through the end of 2019. So I lived there for several years. And I know a lot of people up there, and I know how the medical system works. So I can at least get things done fairly expediently. I'm still in contact with many of the people who were on my medical roster when I lived there. And I have my wonderful priest. I'm not Catholic, by the way, but I actually attended a Catholic parish church while I lived there, because one of my friends actually is a priest. And a lot of my friends go to that parish. So I have people there that are willing to step up and help as well. I really don't have a support system where I am now, and they just don't have the doctors where I am. And the town that I live in also doesn't have much in the way of public transportation. We have no Uber, we have no Lyft, we have no taxi. We have a little city bus that runs a little circle around town. but it only runs from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. So you can't use it really to go to medical appointments or anything like that. We have a hospital that is ranked one of the worst in the state, and there are absolutely no specialists here because there's just no money for them to make. So you have to go to places like Roanoke, which is a 2 hour trip. And for this particular disease, they don't even have anybody anywhere around here that knows what they're doing. Hence, I have to go to Duke today. Now, this doctor knows some about IgG4, but he is only really familiar with it when it manifests in the liver or pancreas. He doesn't know anything really about how it works when it gets in your eye socket or your brain. It's not his area of expertise. So, anyway, that being said, we're going to try to patch my car back together just to get me to my craft show. But there's a good possibility that Miss Mabel has seen the last. Um, the estimate I got for replacing the head gasket almost gave me a heart attack. I got two different estimates. One of them was 1,700, and the other was 2,100 on $1,000 car. No, that's not going to happen. I mean, I love my car, but number one, I don't have that kind of money, and number two, it's just not cost effective to put that much money in a car that has 247,000 miles on it. But like I said, it is not showing me a lot of the symptoms that I would associate with a blown head gasket. And I was a crew chief on a race car for several years. I drove race cars. And if I were 20 years younger, my car wouldn't be in the shape it's in now because I'd have been working on it. But uh, I'm not saying that the young man who looked at the car is wrong. I'm just saying that I don't think it's been blown very long, so I don't think it warped the heads or anything like that. So we're gonna try dumping some stop leak in her and putting a band-aid on her for another month or two. But I got my money's worth out of the car. It's just this is an inopportune time for it to go kaputty on me. So anyway, I gotta go get ready. I have to pack a lunch because the medical transport will not stop and let you eat. And there's no way I'm going to be able to go from noon until 9 o'clock without having something to eat. So I'm going to have to go get tidied up and ready to go and pack my lunch and get all my meds in there because I got meds I got to take during the trip. It's just, yeah, these long trips are brutal. Yeah, replacing the engine is not a viable option. There's too much other stuff with this car that it's at some point you just know you have put all the money into a vehicle that is a sound investment. Like I said, if we can put some stop leak in and buy a couple of months. I mean, I've put stop leak in cars before and they ran for years. So, I don't mind making that investment. So yesterday we went and got the stop leak and uh, some more coolant, and so that's going to be Friday's project. Uh, I already have something on my agenda for today, of course, and then for tomorrow. So Friday's going to be that project, and we'll see if it works. Hopefully, like I said, really, if I could just get it to hold for a month, even, so I can do this big show. I stand to make, you know, $300-400 at this show, or more. It depends. I didn't make a whole lot of new merchandise as much as I have spiffed up my display, because a lot of people with money come through this show, and if your display looks good, you tend to sell more. So I've been focusing on that. I built some new displays out of things I already had, but I found a really cool video on YouTube. And anyway, after I do the show, then I will be doing a sale of some of my handcrafted jewelry and Christmas ornaments and that sort of thing on my other channel. I might simulcast it on both channels at the same time, if I can figure out how that's done. I do know how to do it on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, so I might try that. But anyway, there won't be a show today, and we'll get back in the groove here after Thanksgiving. I'm not going anywhere for Christmas. Like I said, I had hoped I was going to get to go see my brother one more time before I went to Michigan, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But we'll see. Things could turn around. I didn't win Powerball, obviously. I don't even buy tickets for that stuff, but in this case, I bought one. When it hit $1 billion, I bought one ticket for each drawing. And I think I spent $8. I think I bought tickets, four tickets in a row. And on one of them, I won $7 back. So I tried, lost $1. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to go through my coin collection and probably sell some more of it. I sold a little bit of it off a while back to fix my car. So anyway, that's what's happening, and I'm gonna go down here and see what this doctor says. There's not a whole lot that I can do to change when I get to Michigan anyway, but my insurance wants me to see this guy again. So, because he's the closest thing they have to an expert in this area. And so I got to go do it. Yeah, I don't think any of us won, or we'd have all been jumping up and down, Paula. Anyway, M3 has not moved. He is still on the floor, curled up around his heating box. And if you don't know what the heating box is, there's a short video. It's one of those radiator style heaters, and he thinks it's his. In fact, he's got one foot on the leg of it right now, like, nope, this is mine. Get away from my heater. So, all right, guys, I've got to run and get ready for this. I'm gonna try something real quick. I don't know if I can do it or not, but I want to aim the camera away from me while I try to figure out how to turn it around. I don't know if you can see Mr. M there, but he's a hanging. Hey, buddy. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, you got the heating box, huh? Yeah. He's a good boy. All right. Well, I don't know if I got him on camera. My whole living room is piled up with craft show stuff, so I apologize for the mess. Yeah, I don't know if I got him on camera or not because I couldn't figure out how to turn the camera around on my phone. But anyway, he's happy. He's not going to be happy later when I leave, though. All right, guys. I will come back on tomorrow, let you know what the doctors say, and we'll go from there. Oh, hi, Leanne. I didn't see you come in, sweetheart. Thank you for stopping by. Kevin, thank you for looking up all those numbers and everything, and for your concern about how much it's going to cost to do all of this craziness.